Yo, YouTube. So today I want to cover something very briefly about our habit building and deconstruction when you build the wrong habit or you need to build the right one, right? So how do we do this? You need to have discipline. Number one, big thing, right? And then we got to have three things that I covered in a different video, which I'll upload, parallel to this. So, oh man, I'm sorry, excuse me. Discipline is fantastic because it is willful effort, right? To deny or to force yourself to do something that might not be pleasurable, enjoyable, for yourself, but you decide to do it anyways because it's going to be beneficial for you in the long run, right? So, the three things I was talking about in the other video were meditation and flow, which are two sides of the same coin. And then the third thing is rest, which is what you alternate from. So you're either meditative or in flow state. And then rest is a good way to diverge from those two states of mind to recover fully. But when you're doing now actual habits, you want to make sure that you build strong discipline. And the best way to do that, I think, is by maintaining a healthy diet, and maintaining a very, very root habit, and exercise. Those are the three biggest tips I would give someone that wants to build good discipline. Like if you really look at everything you're about to consume and consider it like, okay, is this good for me or not, right? And obviously we like little treats, so don't deny yourself everything, but don't give yourself all your freaking indulgences you want, because then you might end up rolling around. So what I'm trying to get at here is that to build a great habit, you need to do it for about anywhere from 2-3 weeks to maybe even a month. The usual agreed upon average is about 3 weeks. And I kind of agree. But 21 days is a long time. It's a long time, no matter how you look at it. Now, if you look at it in a long-term view, obviously it doesn't seem that crazy. But when you're living it day to day, moment to moment, 21 days of not doing something that you've been doing consistently for maybe months, years, that is daunting at first. And same thing for something that you've never done and never found pleasure in doing, but now you find yourself in a position that you kind of have to. It's going to be just as uncomfortable, but the truth is that it's not unbeatable, right? So what this takes is discipline. You got to be disciplined, and you got to track your progress. So the biggest thing I think of is making small victories, right? Every time you win, you got to have positive reinforcement, and you got to avoid negative reinforcement. So don't punish yourself. Obviously make up for it if you ate, something that you shouldn't have, or you missed a workout, try and, make up for it in small increments. Don't burn yourself out, because if you cease doing the habit, right? Or whatever it is, if you flip from what the desirable outcome is to the undesirable thing that you've been falling on, because you went too hard, you denied yourself all food and you were just eating lettuce leaves, or on the opposite, you missed one workout, so now you decided I'm gonna run a marathon right now. It's a little ridiculous. So do it within your means. Find a way to increase your steps, baby steps, into full strides, and that's the way to get it done properly, right? And we all know this, everyone's heard this, but sometimes you gotta see it in a concise package, and so the way I like to break it down into bite-sized pieces, think 3 days, not 3 weeks, 3 days. If you go shorter than that, it's not really a real long-term victory. You go 3 minutes, what is that really? Go 3 hours, it's not even a day. 3 days. After 3 days, bump it up to a week, then 2, then 3. And guess what? When you get to 3 weeks, you can now successfully, consider that a real solid habit. But the big thing is, and this is critical, to continually, nourish this habit, if you fight for this habit, you can't just let it go once you actually achieve it, right? Because the achievement for a habit and a desirable outcome, right, is not to just, get rid of or to gain a habit. Is to maintain the integrity of the habit. If you don't smoke cigarettes anymore, you can't claim I don't smoke cigarettes if you're smoking one every other month or every special event or whatever it might be, every stressful event that happens. That's no longer being, off the cigarettes. And same thing, like you can't say I'm vegan, if you're eating meat, every weekend. Doesn't make sense. You can say you eat vegan style, right? I don't smoke cigarettes that often, but I do. So stuff like that. You need to maintain the integrity of that habit. You need to learn how to hold yourself accountable and find measurable results, measurable parameters that are going to help you stay on track. So for me personally, I'm trying to quit smoking so much, or hopefully at some point entirely, right? Once the legalization here in Illinois and Chicagoland kind of, becomes more standardized, we have better access to things, price points drop a little bit, then I'll probably only be doing edibles and vapes, with a special occasion or maybe a smoke or two. But honestly, I'm gonna try and stay away. But for now, it's been my favorite mode of consumption, and I've also been hibernating, so walking has not been a big thing for me. So here I am. I'm getting my steps in. I'm trying to get my healthy lifestyle back, get back in shape. I am a personal trainer, so I know you can hear these things. I do have vice, but at the same time, I think there is a little bit of virtue in what I'm trying to do, and I want to reach to become ever more virtuous, righteous. Not that I am, not that I ever will be fully, but the goal is to, make strides towards it, not to, regress, but to progress. So, 3 days of no smoking, 3 days, or minimal, right? Because again, you have to taper as well. This is a very key aspect of habit. If you want to run a marathon, you don't start by running 13 miles first and then run the marathon. You start by running anything if you don't run. Or if you already run, constantly, consistently, run a little bit more. Run more times a day, and changing the volume of your run or the frequency. Those two things are important. So make baby steps, man. And so, like I said, a big way to do it, like if you don't have other parameters in mind just yet, at least start with the days. Show up, do it. Maybe you don't do as good as you would like, but the point is that you're getting better. You haven't been to the gym for a while. There's also a thing for me. Now, I have maintained my strength because I do work out outside of the gym, but I haven't been to the gym, so I don't touch weights. I just move my body. I'm a heavy guy, so it kind of helps doing body weight movements. Makes it hard, but if I can do them, I'm pretty strong then, right? But the goal here is, reintroduce your body to these different things that you do, these habits. Like if I go into the gym, I'm not going to go and try and press the biggest weights yet, or pull the biggest deadlift number I've ever done, because obviously when I was at my best, I was doing that consistently. I just got to build that habit, guys. So let's build better habits for this decade. I think this decade can be very fruitful for all of us, and I think that if we stick to where we want to be and we develop a network to help each other out, we'll be more successful in every one of our endeavors. And so that's kind of what I'm promoting with Sochi Design. So if you guys are into clothing or just are artists, reach out, and I'd be more than happy to work with you, or at least consider, have a little conversation about it. And to really just have dialogue, guys. If you're struggling, don't be afraid to tell other people what's going on. There's no shame. It's just reality. So let's try and make this decade positive. Let's try and push ourselves in the right direction to progress and not regress. And just make that change for other people too, because you never know who else is struggling in silence. And when you start getting a little bit more talkative about your own struggles, but they see you pushing for success, the efforts compound. So let's make it a great day, guys. Have a nice one. Talk to you on the next one.